It's that time of year where the weather gets colder, the days get shorter, and if you're anything like me, that means seasonal depression is right around the corner. However, this year I really want to get past that and I want to make the most out of the season. So today I'm going to share a bunch of tips on how to deal with seasonal depression from someone who has experienced it for many, many years, but has been getting better. In case you don't know, my name is Marina and I make lots of lifestyle videos all centered around aesthetics and Pinterest and that kind of thing. So if that sounds good, definitely click that subscribe button. I have like so many ideas. Some of these are lifestyle changes. Some of these are things that you could actually buy, like little life hacks, like to kind of help trick your brain, all sorts of stuff. I want to start with this first one because I feel like it is something that I've never seen anyone do and I just came up with it this year and it is genius, if I do say so myself. I am someone who loves sunlight, and if it's dark outside, I will be so unmotivated and so tired. So I decided to sort of imitate sunlight with these LED strips that I put around my window. Now, of course, lighting is nothing new, but I feel like the way this is set up is very unique. So I found just about the brightest LED lights I could. I definitely recommend the ones that I use because I tried a few different strips and nothing was as bright as these. These literally blinded me when I first plugged them in. Putting LED strips around the window specifically kind of helps imitate natural light coming in from where your body and brain is used to seeing it anyway. Now, of course, I'm not like a scientist, but I feel like it makes sense, right? These particular LED strips are very bright where they can fully light up my entire room in a similar way that the sun would, maybe not quite as bright, but pretty close. You could change the warmth tone to match whatever you'd like, and it even says the Kelvin on it if you are wanting to be a little bit nerdy. Basically, natural sunlight is somewhere between like 5,000 or like 5,500 Kelvin to 6,500 Kelvin, something around that range. So you could definitely get a very accurate like sunlight temperature, and it's not too yellow or too green or like a weird color. And you could also change the brightness. The other really nice thing about this particular LED strip is that the lights are so close together that they don't leave like those little dots where each light is, and it's so invisible and seamless. It barely takes up any space. It's not like you have a giant lamp standing there. So I'm super in love with this little DIY that I did. I genuinely tricked myself into believing that it was light out because one time I turned them on and I forgot, and then like maybe half an hour later I thought to myself, oh my god, it got really light outside because it was cloudy that day. But then I was like, nope, it's still cloudy, it's just my lights are on. They're genuinely so realistic. Not sponsored. Similar to the LED strips, but just in general, I highly recommend getting lots of nice mood lighting. Like get fairy lights, get maybe a salt lamp or like a cool little pretty desk lamp. There's this little device called the Hatch Restore, which I've never personally used, but it sounds very intriguing. It's this lamp and speaker that is supposed to like imitate sunrise and sunset to kind of help you wake up naturally. It sounds really cool, but it's really expensive. I think Amazon has this like orb lamp that maybe has like similar functions. You can get those cool galaxy lamps that project like stars onto your ceiling, or you can get like little sunset lamps, just anything that kind of make your room a little bit brighter. If it's dark outside, just definitely have your lights turned on as much as possible during the day. It's gonna kind of trick your body into thinking that it is light outside, and it's gonna help increase your energy and hopefully improve your mood. Another really great hack for seasonal depression is to set up smart home routines. Honestly, a lot of smart home products are really affordable these days. You could get some smart light bulbs or smart plugs so that they can automatically turn on at a certain time. So perhaps when the sun sets, you could have it automatically turn on. I personally really like the brand Casa. They have very affordable smart light bulbs that can fade in and out, and their app is very easy to use and you can use it to set up routines. So I've been having my lights turn on automatically in the morning when I'm trying to wake up. The reason this is so nice is that you literally don't even have to do much. You don't have to physically get up and turn on a light. It's like so much less effort. Definitely decorate your room or your apartment, your house, whatever, as much as you can. You don't even have to go too crazy. You could just get a cozy little throw blanket. I think that decorating your room to make it a little bit more cozy is so important, because when it gets dark and cold, you don't want to just be sitting in like a gray room, you know? You want to be somewhere that makes you happy. I'm a big proponent of scents, and I've talked about this in so many of my videos, but fall scents are one of the best parts of the season. They are so cozy, so warm and comforting. I personally love candles, but there's also so many other things that you could do. You can get wax melts if you don't want an open flame, or you can actually have like a regular like steamy diffuser. What are those called? Like the ones that actually like let out the steam. So many ways to go about it. It just really helps me feel so cozy. If you can't be bothered with lighting a candle, then I would definitely recommend something that does kind of work on its own, like a wall plug or reed diffusers. But I also think that candles give off a really nice glow, and like they're just so comforting to be around. One of the biggest things to beating seasonal depression is really just romanticizing the season. Now, if you need some help with that, there are so many ways you can do it. And I actually talk a lot about these things in the video that I just posted, which is getting ready for fall, where we kind of go through all the steps together to kind of help prepare and romanticize fall and get excited for the season. So definitely check that out. One of my favorite ways to romanticize anything is to go on Pinterest. If you don't use Pinterest, then you really gotta get on that. There's so many pretty photos on Pinterest where it might even be literally raining, but it makes you feel so excited for that. I like to create vision boards for every season, but I think especially for fall and winter it helps so much. Like, I'm not even kidding, it's not even anywhere near winter yet, but I'm already getting so excited because my winter vision board is it's just perfect. It's better than fall to me. I think it helps to really get specific with your vision board as well. So not only just pretty pictures, but also think about what food you want to be eating, what your outfits are gonna look like, maybe what activities you're gonna do. I get into this in a lot more detail in my previous video. You could also look for photos on Instagram and make a bucket list of all the things that you want to do in the fall. There are so many really cool fall activities that you can do instead of sitting home all day, or even things that you can do at home if you don't really want to leave. Some of my favorites are pumpkin and apple picking, exploring charming, I don't know if you could hear the train. So loud. Some of my favorites are pumpkin and apple picking, going on a little like day trip to a cute little town. You can paint or carve pumpkins. You can go for a walk and collect some little leaves or just take pictures of all the pretty foliage. You could host a movie night with your friends and family and maybe make some themed treats, or you could just do it by yourself as well. There's also lots of fall baking and cooking that you can do that are seasonal. Another great way to remind yourself about how amazing fall could be is to put all of the things that you're excited about your fall vision board or your bucket list or something like that, put it either on your wall somewhere physically, or make it your phone or laptop wallpaper, somewhere where you can see it and you're constantly reminded of how beautiful fall can really be. Another great way to help romanticize fall is to create fall playlists, or just have playlists that boost your mood so that whenever you are feeling a little bit down, you can listen to those. Fall and winter is the one time of year when you can actually not feel guilty for not spending time outside. I know that in the summer, sometimes if I'm inside all day because of work or because I'm just tired and I don't want to go outside, I feel so guilty. But in the fall, when it gets colder, if it's raining, I don't feel any kind of obligation to go outside because the weather sucks. So I just use it as a nice excuse to stay inside and play some video games or watch some movies or shows. Watching fall movies and shows and YouTubers that romanticize autumn is honestly such a game changer. I've been watching Gilmore Girls this year. It's like my first time actually watching it. I know it's a really popular fall show, and it does take place in like fall and winter, so it kind of helps me, you know, romanticize it. Like, if I watched a movie right now about someone on an island, on a beach, I would feel so much FOMO. One that I just actually recently watched is Tinkerbell and the Pirate's Treasure, I think that's what it's called. And that one actually takes place in the fall, which I didn't know before, but it actually put me into such a fall mood because those Disney fairies just make everything so magical and beautiful, so I loved it. One of the best ways to deal with seasonal depression is just to be a little bit more prepared for the season. The reason I say this is because a lot of times I find that I'm freezing. Like, I'm really cold when I go outside. I don't have any cute outfits that are also warm enough because I just don't prepare well. I'm not prepared. So definitely go out and buy some nice warm clothes if you don't have any already. I highly recommend Ugg boots. I mean, they're super trendy, but for a good reason. A really nice coat is a great investment, especially if it's warm, cute, good quality. They can be a little bit expensive, but it's definitely something that's worth it. So if you are gonna invest in something, make sure you get something that's a little bit more timeless and classic. I found this one at H&M this year and it was insanely cheap, and honestly the quality is amazing. It's so heavy, it's like lined, it's really well made, and it was very affordable for a coat. So I will link it if it's still available. Another thing that I struggle with in the fall is having the energy to cook. Sometimes you come home and it's already super dark outside and you just want to eat something and get cozy and relax. If you eat unhealthy, it's gonna make you feel worse in the long run. Now, treats once in a while are of course good, but I think it's also so important to have healthy meals, and that's why meal prepping these healthy meals is such a good idea so that you don't reach for something unhealthy. I personally love this pumpkin pasta recipe. I make this every year. It's really, really easy, but you could also make a huge batch of it and freeze it and then just reheat it. So I'll link the recipe in the description. It's not mine, I just found it. Of course, treat yourself to seasonal treats, seasonal drinks. I feel like that's such a good way to embrace autumn and romanticize the season. If you like pumpkin spice lattes, then go get those. I have been wanting to try the matcha with pumpkin cold foam on top. Maybe I'll try making it myself even. That just sounds so yummy. Drink tea as well. As Elle Wood said, exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy, and happy people just don't, well, you know. So definitely try to exercise in these colder months, even though it may be a little bit trickier or harder to motivate yourself. Some of the things you can do to make it easier is to get some cute activewear, or even just put your activewear out where you can see it and be reminded. I recently got these bala bangles. These are ankle weights, or like I guess you could use them on your wrist as well, and they're just a fun, very cute way to make something like a walk a little bit more intense. As much as you can, while the weather is still kind of good and while it's still kind of light outside, try to go for a short little walk every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Just getting a little bit of natural sunlight is so good for you. If you work and you come into the office when it's dark and you leave when it's dark, then see if you can maybe take a little bit of a break during lunch, or just a short 15-minute break to go and step outside. Even if you can't really walk around, just to like peek outside and get some fresh air is always a good idea. One of my favorite ways to boost my mood during this time of the year is to go into shops that, you know, sell cute seasonal things. So specifically for me, that's Target, Home Goods, and Trader Joe's. It's so much fun to just walk around and look at all the cute little decorations and smell the candles and all of that stuff. Even if you don't buy anything, it's still a really nice way to spend your time, and it's something that can be done indoors. So if the weather is not great, you could do that. And finally, my last tip is to try to see people as much as possible. A lot of times when we are depressed, we don't want to see people, but socialization is actually one of like the most important things that can actually help improve our mood in that kind of situation. So even if you really don't feel like it, try to at least go out and see your friends. You know, you don't have to look cute, you don't have to do your makeup and hair. If you do just to see your friends, then they're not the right friends, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can just be a low-key hangout at your house or at their house. You don't even have to really like chat, but just being with someone is so important for your mental health. If you know you struggle with this, then text like your 2 closest friends right now and just tell them that you'd like to hang out more in the fall and that you need a little bit of extra help and motivation. They'll be able to kind of maybe help and guide you with that. Overall, I think it's so important to embrace the season instead of trying to daydream about summer or think of where you could be or what it could have been if it was a different time of year. Try to just fully embrace the season. There's so many beautiful things about fall, and it's all about seeing those beautiful things. You really just need to start thinking a little bit more positively. There's beauty in everything, and if you have a hard time doing that, like I said before, look for creators or movies or friends that really embrace fall or that really like it. And I know it might be annoying at first if they're super enthusiastic about it and you're not, but eventually I think it kind of rubs off and you end up feeling better about it. You can follow my YouTube channel or me on Instagram, because I will definitely be trying to make some cozy fall videos and content to kind of romanticize the season. So I am hoping that I can bring some of those good vibes to you. Those are all the tips I had, but if you have anything, please leave comments below because I could definitely use them, and I'm sure there's lots of other people that would as well. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!